Manhattan, New York, and most recently in Sutherland Springs, Texas. Unfortunately, events such as these are happening more and more frequently. And in order to prevent such events, as a community, we must be vigilant and we must be educated. As a law enforcement officer, we take an oath to protect and serve those of our community. In order to do so, sometimes we must first educate. If you're thinking to yourself that this is Florence, Alabama, this will never happen here, or this will never happen to me, that is your first mistake, and probably the biggest mistake that you can make. The first step in preventing these acts are to have situational awareness. Be aware of where you're at. Be aware of what's going on around you. If you're indoors, be aware of where your entrances are and where your exits are. Have this conversation with your kids, have this conversation with your family and friends to let them know if something were to happen, what you're going to do next. And when I say situational awareness and being aware, I'm not talking about being paranoid or always looking over your shoulder looking for that next attack. But just to be aware of what's going on around you. Be aware of things that look out of place. That's the first thing that you should have in your toolbox. Secondly, if you find yourself in a place that an event has occurred, you should just remember three things: run, hide, fight. The first thing you need to do is figure out where that attack is coming from, and you need to run in the opposite direction. Run as fast and as hard as you can until you are safe, or until you can run no more. Once you've reached that point, or if you can't run any further, for whatever reason, there's no exits, there's nowhere to run, you need to find somewhere to hide. You need to gather up your friends and your family, hide yourself, preferably in a room with multiple entrances and exits. So if an attack comes in through one door, you can exit out the other. If you do find yourself hiding in a room with only one entrance, barricade that entrance. Cabinets, furniture, anything that you can put behind that door to keep it from opening, put it there. Because the harder it is for an attacker to gain entry into the room, more than likely that attacker will just move on to the next target. If you find yourself in a place where you cannot run and there's nowhere to hide, you're going to have to take the fight to the attacker. And when I say fight, I don't mean like wrestling around with your siblings on Saturday morning. Fight like your life depends on it. Because your life, the life of your family, the life of your friends may depend on that. Commit 100% to the fight, and remember that there are strength in numbers. If there are 3 or 4 people there, 3 or 4 people need to be in that fight. If you can find objects to hit the attacker with, if you can find objects to throw at that attacker, you need to do so. Take the fight to the attacker to neutralize the attack or to remove that subject's weapon. But fight like your life depends on it. With those 3 things, you should be able to keep your friends and your family safe in the event that you find yourself in an attack. And I know this is Alabama, and I know that we're going to get a lot of questions about, well, what do I do if I've got a concealed carry permit, or if I'm carrying a weapon? If you find yourself with your weapon drawn in an event and you see police coming or you hear police coming, the first thing you need to do is place that weapon on the ground and put your hands in the air. Listen to what the police officers are going to tell you to do. Listen to their directives, because that is not the time to argue or to tell them what's going on. Listen to what they're going to tell you. Most of the time we are responding to an event and we don't know who the bad guys are and who the good guys are. The bad guys look and dress just as we do. So we will treat every threat that we can as safely as we can. Be a good witness for those officers. Let them know what the attacker was wearing, what direction he went in. Will you be detained? Probably so. And as soon as we finish our investigation, you will be released. Don't let the acts of Las Vegas, Nevada, or Sutherland Springs, Texas dictate the way that you live your life. Have that situational awareness about you. Have that conversation with your friends and family so that they know what to do if something happens. Furthermore, if you see something, say something. If you see something suspicious or out of the ordinary, contact 911 immediately or find the nearest police officer and let them know so that they can look into the situation. please like and share this video so that we can get this message out to as many people as possible to hopefully prevent any further attacks from happening. Remember, Florence, my name is Justin Hill. Be safe, be smart, and we'll see you next time.